Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Friday, August the 23rd, 2024. Friday, August the 23rd. Well, you know what, everybody? Molly unleashed all that pent up anger, all that just everything. She ripped Christina to shreds, ripped her to shreds. I mean, Molly was telling her, because of your actions, my baby is laying in that grave because of your actions. And Christina says, that's not true. She goes, that is exactly true, Christina. All I was trying to do was protect my family. And she said, and my baby was part of that. And she goes, and wait, my baby wasn't given a second thought. Your job was to protect and keep my baby safe. And you chose not to do it. She said, Christina, had you done this one thing, stayed away from Ava's hotel room. I even told you, do not go there, stay away from Ava, and you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. It is because of you, my baby's dead. And I want you, she goes, you killed my baby. And she goes, no, no. And Alexis was like, Molly. And she goes, I want you to say it. Say you killed my baby. Say you killed my baby. And then when Alexis was like, Molly, but Molly didn't get that vicious until when Alexis tried to stop her, she goes, and there it is. There you are, rushing to poor Christina's aid. And Sam is just looking at her. She goes, like Christina never takes consequences for her actions. They just don't apply to her. I want her to take the consequences and accept what she did. Her direct actions led to this. She goes, but of course, you would take Christina's side. Just like you were planning on keeping our baby from me and TJ. And Christina just looks at her, and Alexis is like, oh no. She goes, oh, and you, pointing at her mama, were helping her do it. And she goes, Molly, no, no, it was not like that at all. She goes, oh, how was it, Mom? How was it? So Molly goes in her purse. She took the paperwork from Alexis's house. She goes in her purse and she pulls it out. And she says, oh, here's the petition right now, where Christina was keeping our baby. And you helped her. She goes, no, Molly, that's not. How was it, Mom? See, Alexis should have, if she didn't have them drawn up, she should have said, I did not have those papers drawn up. Because Molly said, how were they in your briefcase? If you didn't have nothing to do with it, how were they in your briefcase? And Alexis just standing there, Molly, no, is it? She goes, you know what? And then she looked at TJ. She goes, TJ, I'm so sorry. You had reservations about Christina. You felt our baby was in danger with Christina. And Christina's like, no, no. She goes, and I told you no. I believe I did. She looked at Christina. I defended her. And you were right, TJ. I want you to know that. And Rick, oh, if death glares could kill, like what? Like Alexis, you about to do this to our daughter, my daughter, and Sam is like, oh my goodness, right? And TJ was shocked. He goes, wait, and she hands the papers to him, and he reads them. He goes, you were not going to give us our baby? And so Molly looks at her, say Say it, Christina. You were going to keep the baby. She goes, yes, I was going to keep the baby. Ooh, ooh, there we go. I loved her. She grew inside of me. You loved her? And Molly's like, you killed her. No, no, I loved her. I loved her. You didn't think, oh, Molly's like, yeah, love. You didn't put her first. You didn't keep her safe. So Christina, she has to hit the ground. I loved her. I loved her. I loved her. And Molly's just looking at her down on the ground, and Alexis is down there, trying to hang on to her, trying to hold her. And Molly's just looking, and Sam had nothing to say. When you know what, Sam? She just looking at Rick. Sam, you, for one, need to stay neutral because you didn't know Christina was planning on keeping that baby. You didn't know that, right? So Molly was just like, you know what? And TJ sees her on the ground. So the doctor mode kicks into gear with TJ. He kneels down next to Christina. He says, are you in physical pain? Are you hurt? See, the doctor kicked in. That compassion of a doctor. Even knowing this woman was going to not steal, but keep your baby. That's your child too. But there was visitations drawn up in that paperwork. Baby daddy, right? So once he finds out she's not hurt, TJ gets up and Rick's like, come on, let me get you home. She goes, no, I'm not going nowhere without TJ. She looked at her daddy and he's like, oh. So TJ stands up and he goes, let's get out of here, Molly. So Christina's on the ground still. And Alexis is home. No, my baby, my baby. Molly and TJ leave. So they end up going to Portia and Curtis's place, with the family. And of course, they end up telling the family, what happened. And Jordan is pissed. Jordan was like, Christina and Alexis were planning on stealing my son's baby from him and Molly. Stealing them from me. And I'm thinking, well, you're yes and no. Y'all live in the same town. You live in the same town. And she's telling Curtis, had this baby lived, there would have been a fight. And I thought, yeah, there'd have been a big fight. But Christina was still the biological mother. And while Christina was on the ground sobbing, from the start of this whole surrogacy, Molly just had a bunch of flashbacks of Christina wanting to do this and them accepting her and her saying it's yours. And Alexis saying, you all need to have paperwork. No, you need to make this legal now before it happens, right? And they wouldn't listen to her. Molly flashback on that too. She sure did. And she also heard Alexis, where Alexis says, Molly, there's nothing that physically ties you to this baby. The mother has to sign the baby over, right? So, but that still didn't, change her feelings when it wouldn't. But Alexis warned them big time because everybody knows Christina better than Christina knows herself. Molly went to her like a fool with the one argument. But me and TJ have been far apart. We argue over you. But see, that's all Christina needed. She had already been having feelings of wanting to keep that baby. That's all she needed. And then threw caution to the wind and was reneging. She completely was reneging. When you're dealing with adoptive mothers, and unfortunately, the way they did it, that was Christina's egg. She had rights. And Christina was going to exercise those rights. Now, had an egg been donated at a facility, the mothers sign over those eggs. They get paid for those eggs, right? With TJ sperm, Christina would not have had claim on the baby because it wouldn't have been biologically DNA connected to her at all. Period. Right? So Rick shows up at Portia and Curtis's house. He and Molly go out on the terrace. Alexis gets Christina home, make sure she has some medication for the pain. And she goes, how are your stitches feeling, honey? Are they okay? She goes, I can't think about my stitches. I can't think about those stitches right now. Christina had the nerve to say, Molly, her behavior was out of line. And she had the nerve to say that, she goes, her saying that I never loved the baby and that that I caused the baby's death. She honestly believes that. She goes, I will never forgive Molly. As she just indignantly looking down. And I thought, you are the one that made a scene. You called that baby Adela on purpose at that grave. You, Christina, you hijacked the funeral. You, Christina. But indignantly, Molly was out of line and I'll never forgive her. And then Alexis was talking about her sister. She goes, you're named after my sister. And there isn't one day. See, I don't remember Alexis having a sister named Christina. I guess she did. And she says, there's not one day that I don't wish I could talk to her again. You and Molly are sisters. Right now, emotions are just out of control. And it'll just take some time. And I'm thinking emotions out of control. They're way more out of control because now they know Christina was going to keep the baby. See, it's different for Molly feeling, oh, my sister was the cause of the baby's death. But now on top of it, you were never going to give us our baby. That's all. See, they need to leave those sisters alone. And in a few years, when Molly gets over it, right? Molly, because Molly is the one Christina was going to take the baby from. And TJ, but TJ and Molly were going to get visitations because TJ is the father. But this was my sister. And you're doing this to me? Oh, no, no, no. Ain't no Davis girls night out gonna fix this. And y'all better not try. Period. Right? In this case, if I had to pick a side, everybody, I'm picking Molly's side. I'm with her. And TJ. Not Christina. Christina still is not, she still does not regret going to that hotel room. I had to protect my family. No, you mean your father. Your father. Wasn't your family. I mean, as far as, oh, the whole family's a jeopardy. Sonny knows how to protect himself and take care of himself. You went head first, charged in, baby belly first, and just didn't think of the consequences. Well, guess what? Consequences came back and bit you in the behind. Bit her in the behind. Dante talks to Chase, and he tells Chase his true feelings, that, there's a large part of him that still loves Lulu. And it's going to affect him if Lulu dies. It really, truly is. Well, plus it's going to affect his son. That's notable. Now, Maxie comes to see Lulu because they transferred her to GH. Maxie paints her nails and she's talking to her and she's saying, Lulu, after you fell into the coma, Dante, oh goodness, he's missed you over the years, he's come to see you. I could tell he still loves you, Lulu. I never told Dante, she told her, that you said you were still in love with him. I never told him. You know, she's like, but Dante, he's a good guy and he's been here for you. So we shall see, what they're going to do. Of course, they showed the guy in the shackles. We now know from the tabloids. And I think they may have shown them take the thing off of Lucky's heads. I can't remember if that was the scenes from next week or was it at the end of today. It is Lucky. Somehow he is in a jail being held captive. Um, there's also a new actor going to be on the canvas, a new male actor, and I forgot his name because probably couldn't pronounce it right to begin with. We'll all see him. And they said he was going to he made his debut today. It must have been something that I fast forwarded, probably a Lucky scene because I didn't watch all of the Lucky being pushed around. I didn't watch that, right? So we'll see. It's a guy, and my guess is he's gonna be for Jordan. This person is going to be a new man in Jordan's life. But anyway, Alexis is coddling Christina at her house, and Rick is telling Molly, I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself, for not just keeping your feelings bottled up. She goes, I know that's what everybody expected me to do. She goes, and I know Sam and my mom are going to come to me telling me to forgive Christina, telling me to be the bigger person. She goes, and I don't feel like it. And he says, and you don't have to, Molly. You don't have to. And she doesn't. Molly can do Molly when Molly wants to do Molly. Period. That's how I feel about that too, Molly. So that was it. It was pretty. Oh, Home and Heart. Lois, of course, did well. We found that out yesterday. And then there was a rude person about her accent. And Haven. Now look, Haven has her country accent like there's no tomorrow, but nobody's complaining about that, right? And this episode of Home and Heart had the highest episodes ever in sales, which to me, no, I think some of the stuff Sasha did were the highest in sales, but the numbers were through the roof. And Haven knew it. Haven said, look, girl, you're natural. And Lois said, thank you so much for helping me through that rocky start. And she says, you can't let other callers, because Haven ended coming up and shutting the caller down because she was just being rude to Lois, and Haven came in and said, listen, everybody has a right to their own opinion, but not to be rude. Not to be rude. And not to talk about people personally, because we're all different. We all talk different. She's saying, so since you've had your say, I'm going to tell you, have a good day. Hopefully you buy some serum because it's going to make you look good and blah, blah, blah. But good day. So they got rid of that caller, right? But it still shook Lois, and Lois is worried now. So, and Tracy even was shocked and congratulated her for the sales throughout, just went through the roof. And Tracy goes, come on, let's get our ride home, right? And Lois is trying to say words the way Tracy, she's trying to correct her accent. It's going to be interesting to see if they have her talk a little more, I don't want to say proper, because she's talking proper enough. She's talking Brooklyn. She grew up in Brooklyn. Come on now. But a little more conventional. Because truth be told, on the bold, and the actress actually does not have that accent. You could tell she's trying to talk like that. She's acting like she has a Brooklyn accent. On The Bold and the Beautiful, she talked plain as day. So anyway, that was it. Nothing else happened. Good episode. I'm happy the emotions and the raw energy and feelings that they had Molly displaying and Christina. I'm happy with it. You know, Christina's being true to herself. And you know what, baby girl, if that's protecting you from feeling guilty, because you know your actions were the direct had Jen. Molly told her, no, Christina, do not confront Ava. Period. Period. Don't you do it. And she did. Wait till Molly left and bolted right on out of there. So here we go. Right. Let's go to comment corner. Comment corner. I am going to start from the top to the bottom. I am going to get my trusty dusty timer here. Okay, we have Darlene. Darlene says Adele is Christina and Molly's grandmother's name. You know what? It's so funny we forget about that, or I did. Rick and Sonny have the same mother. They just had a different father. And that was one of the chips on Rick's shoulder, that the mother raised Sonny and the mother let Rick's father take him. And at one of their arguments, Sonny said, oh, you wished you would have stayed with Adele? I think her name was Adele, but they put Adela, or maybe it's Adela. When she married Zeke, he used to beat Sonny, right? He used to beat Sonny because Mike was already out the picture. So, which is another reason Sonny had a chip on his shoulder about Mike. But anyway, Darlene says, why? I mean, will you be doing the Young and the Restless anymore? Yes, I am. Believe it or not. I wrote notes on the Young and the Restless just today. I'm going to this weekend do a Young and the Restless and kind of, talk about the storylines to where they are. I have not been happy with the Young and the Restless this year, but I am going to step back into it more because we did have a lot of Young and the Restless fans in Comment Corner, and I just, you know what, I still watch it every night, but when you just are very unhappy with the writing in a soap, the joy in trying to do a daily recap on the Young and the Restless is just not there for me. So I will do it at least once a week. I'm going to get to that and see if I want to ramp it up even more. We shall see. Charlotta says, no, I don't think so. She is Spanish and Laura is a white woman. I don't know what question you're answering, Charlotta. And Natasha says, no one is taking away Christina's grief, but she is a surrogate for Molly. Molly has been mourning since she found out she couldn't have a baby. Christina should have kept her composure. I don't blame Molly. She was right in every way. And then Denzel says, I'm sorry, but I'm Team Molly of yesterday's Thursday's GH, because did you see that Alexis and Sam hugging all over Christina instead of Molly at the funeral? It was straight disgusting. I was so glad that Molly went off on Christina when she saw the document papers. Well, she didn't do it when she saw it. She was waiting for an opportunity to pull it out and use it, which the funeral really wasn't the place. And she apologized to TJ before they walked in because she knew it. She said, TJ, this was supposed to be something beautiful for Irene, and I turned it into something completely else, something else. And I really apologize to you. She said, but I just kept talking and it just all came out. And he goes, Molly, you feel the way you feel. And sometimes you can't bottle up all our emotions. You knew TJ was going to be on her side anyway. But I did not like the fact that Sam wasn't hugging Molly, and that's her sister too. Yeah, Molly was left alone, and I didn't like that at all. If Rick hadn't come, poor Molly, what would she have done? That both Christina and Alexis wanted to keep TJ's baby, Molly's baby, Jordan's first ever granddaughter. I love me some Christina and all, but she was selfish and a hypocrite because she was going to take the baby from TJ and Molly, shaking my head. Yeah, Rick is not perfect and a ton of mistakes, but Alexis and Sam ain't no better. And no matter, I mean, no mother of the year. I know they made their share of mistakes, and that heifer of a Christina had no right to name the baby that she lost because it was her fault that the baby died, named Adela, which is Sonny's mom, a mom that raised a gangster. Like, nah, I was happy Molly went off on Christina. One thing we forgot, that's Molly's dad's mom too, as we just talked about earlier. So Adela, that name should have meant something to Rick, Molly's dad, and Molly should have known exactly where that came from. That's her grandmother's name too. Affiliate 56 says, that is Christina's baby. Leave Christina alone. It was a terrible accident, what happened in the hotel room. And Eva says, but because Christina was carrying the baby, that she was responsible. It is she that is responsible for the accident. It would have been helpful if Christina only said, yes, I'm sorry. If I would have stayed home, none of this would have happened. But Christina made it worse by saying, yes, I was going to keep the baby. Molly should have used better judgment and not confront Christina with the papers at gravesite. Of course, Christina was subjected to all the baby hormones. All the more reason she should have thought of the baby first. Usually, if you're 8.5 months, you're more cautious. A mother to be becomes, or the more cautious a mother to be becomes. All you're praying for is a safe delivery. And then P. Merle says, see, that's the point. No one wants to acknowledge Christina agreed to the surrogacy. She broke her promise to Molly and TJ. And what's worse, she was going to blindside them after the baby was born. Of course, Christina's grief is real, but so is her selfishness. And that is true. That's one of the things Molly said. Molly says, and when were you going to present this paperwork? Were you going to wait? And she looked at Alexis and said, were you going to rip my baby out of my arms after the baby was born? And Alexis is just looking. Yeah, Alexis, look. And Affiliate 56 says, thank you. And then Sandra says, hello, hat lady. Adele is Molly's grandmother too. Remember, Rick, his mother is Sonny's mother too. And Barbara says, Molly, you are dead wrong with what you did to Christina at the funeral. Even did wrong. My name is Barbara. Well, I still don't know how to pronounce what you said your name is, but when you look at the @ sign, your handle says Barbara Woods. And then Michelle says, I can't wait until Michael finds out that Willow was talking about lame behind Drew. Now that she fell in love with Drew over one kiss. Girl, bye with that foolishness. That man and your mother are both lying. Yep. And you are saying Drew has never lied to her or hurt her. Did Drew tell you he was sleeping with Nina? Nope, he sure did not. And then Lisa says, how the heck did Christina know what the baby likes when she was anything? I don't understand that part. The baby was in her body, not talking, that's right, to her or cooing. She is nuts and has lost her mind. She's had to make it about herself and tell everyone it was her baby. Yes, she did. I made that point too, saying, look, I never knew what my baby in my belly wanted, right? Um, and that's it, everybody. That's it for Comment Corner. That's my 10 minutes. Thank you for Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow with another daily episode of General Hospital.